Hey there, how's it going, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to FPL Talk Part 50. Woo! No idea what I've got this for. There you go. A celebrationary toy. I think it's a cat toy or some kind of weird ribbon toy. But anyway, welcome to FPL Part 50. FPL Talk Part 50. And it's all about game week 36 and 37, 38. And then it's end of season, isn't it? Wow. It's Saturday morning. It's 8:45. And let's get you guys seeing FPL live. Absolutely seeing what I see. As always, we're playing it raw. We're doing it unedited, unscripted. We're just doing it as you guys would play it at home. No messing around. No gaming dungeon. None of that. No fancy microphones. No fancy mice. No fancy headsets. Just me, a laptop, and the internet with a cool little mouse by the side. So game week 36 finished, didn't it, last week? We had a Saturday, Sunday, and basically a good set of fixtures, didn't we, really? There you go. Let's go through them really quickly before we look at this game week, which has already started, by the way. I did post on X a 30-minute warning before the deadline yesterday for game week 37. But otherwise, 36 finished with Fulham losing 3-1 to Everton at Craven Cottage. Raul got the goal and Smith Rowe with the assist for Fulham. But otherwise, Everton flying at the moment, moving into a new stadium next season. Beto, Keane and Mikalenka getting the goals for Everton, Decore, McNeil and Alcaraz with the assist. Bonus points went 3 to Raul, 2 to Beto and 1 to Keane. Ipswich losing 1-0 to Brentford. Goal by Sade, assist from my man and Buemo, and all you guys have got him as well. The yellow card for Visa as well. So bonus points went 3 Sade, 2 Collins and 2 for Flecken in a 1-0 win against Ipswich. 0-0 draw, shocking result that was a little bit, really, to be honest. I know Southampton have had a little bit of upwards form, but it's a bit too late, isn't it, really? 3 for Ramsdale, 1 for Bednarak bonus-wise, and 3 for Ruben Diaz. I did have the goalkeeper, wonderful Edison, who got me a clean sheet in that game, so 0-0. But I also had Mamouche, who only came on briefly. So Wolves 0, Brighton 2. Not a good game for Cunha, got a yellow card and pulled early, didn't in that game. Goals for Welbeck and Gruder. Otherwise, assist for Adrinka and Weaver. Bonus points went 3 for Welbeck, 2 for Webster, 1 for Stupinan, 1 for Heck, and 1 for Van Bruggen. Wow, they're handing out those bonus points, aren't they? Pretty much the whole team. And then the final game of the Saturday was Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1, Watkins goal and Rodgers assist. Bonus points went 3 to Watkins, 2 to Martinez, and 1 to Luca Digne with a red card for Ramsey in that game. Then we hit the Sunday fixtures. Newcastle convincingly beating Chelsea by 2-0. Bruno Guimaraes getting the goal, and Tonali, Burn assist, and Murphy assist. Nothing for Isak. And yeah, I captained him. Potentially, I think I did. But anyway, 3 bonus points went Tonali, 2 to Burn, and 1 for Liveramento. And then Man United lost to West Ham. Goals from Bowen and Soucek, course. Wan-Bissaka and Kudus with the assists. 3 bonus points for Wan-Bissaka, 2 for Soucek, and 1 for Areola. Interesting how Bowen didn't get anything in that one, actually, despite scoring. Forest 2, Leicester 2, Gibbs White and Wood with the goal, and Elanga and Gibbs White assist. Bonuarte and Cody with the goals for Leicester, with a Vardy and El Khanous assist. Bonus points went 3 to Gibbs White, 2 to Elanga, 2 to Wood, and 2 to Bonuarte. Spurs losing to Crystal Palace, what a shock. Eze, 2 goals, doing really well. Munoz and Sarr with the assist. 3 bonus points naturally to Eze, 2 to Munoz, and 1 to Guehi. And the final game of that game week is a 2-2 draw from Liverpool and Arsenal. Gakpo and Diaz with the goals. Robertson and Szoboszlai with the assists. Martinelli and Marino for Arsenal with an Odegaard and Trossard assist. Bonus red card, don't forget, also for Marino, so he will be missing. Gakpo 3 bonus points. Diaz 1 and Trossard with the 2. So that was game week 36. How did you guys do in that game week? The answer for me is I hit 45. 6 points going from Edison, 6 points for Lacroix, 11 points for Burn, and 1 for Nico Lewis. That's where the bulk of my points came from. 2 for Saka, and Buemo got me 6. Rodgers got me 6. Salah got me 2. Mamouche got me 1. Cunha got me 0. And Isak got me 4 as a captain. Not great, but as I say every single week, because I'm not in any kind of competition, I'm not in any mini league or anything like that, really that matters, so we say. I look at the average points instead, and I beat the average points. I got 45, the average point of 43, not massively, not convincingly, but I still beat them. I did make 3 transfers as well. Those 3 transfers were Cunha, Kiwior, and Edison in. Mateta, Ruben, Diaz, and Raya were out of my team. I did also make a change for this game week, so let me show you the team that I picked for this game week. There we go. I've got 6 points already. Game week 37 is as follows. Aston Villa have already played against Spurs. They beat them 2-0 very convincingly yesterday. Kamara and Konza with the goal. Rodgers and the Watkins assist. Bonus point went 3 to Konza, 2 to Kamara, and 1 to Pau Torres. And there was a 1-0 win yesterday for Chelsea. Cucurella getting the goal and James with the assist. Bonus points went 3 to Cucurella, 2 to Tosin, and 1 to James. So if you've got any players from Aston Villa or Chelsea, defence-wise, you did well. If you've got Watkins and Rodgers, Cucurella maybe, and James, not sure many people have James because he's injury-prone, but in general, you would have got some decent points from yesterday. So this is my team for this game week. I've got 6 points so far. Edison's in goal against Bournemouth. Fingers crossed, they do okay. Bournemouth are a good side, though, mind you, but technically speaking, Man City are at home. Don't think Edison plays in the cup games. Normally it's Ortega, so should be okay, fingers crossed. But either way, top goalkeeper. Lacroix in defence. We'll see how he plays against Wolves, again, coming off the back of an FA Cup final. Canate against Brighton, maybe a decent game. Nico Williams against West Ham United. Again, if both of those teams fighting, but really Forest fighting for European position. Saka against Newcastle again, fighting for Champions League to firmly keep themselves in that position of second. And Werner against Fulham, again, potentially fighting for a European place, depending on the FA Cup final. Bowen playing against Nottingham Forest. Hopefully he can keep his form going. I brought him in, by the way. Big news about Bowen. He's come in and out went Murphy. So I took out Jacob Murphy, brought in Bowen. That's this week's free transfer. Mo Salah's captain this week against Brighton. Rodgers has already played, hasn't he? He played against Tottenham yesterday and got an assist. Really good from him. Cunha against Crystal Palace away. And Isak as vice-captain against Arsenal. On the bench is Areola against Forest. Mamouche against Bournemouth. Again, not sure. He didn't play many minutes the last game. Kiwior has Newcastle at home and Burn has Arsenal. So reverse game there. So no point playing either of those two. If I think they're going to concede, and I think both teams will concede. So I believe that Lacroix against Wolves, Canate against Brighton, and Nico Williams, maybe with an assist if he's going to get any points, are likely to get points versus Kiwior and Burn on the bench. Mamouche, not sure about his minutes, but the rest of the players I think will play in my team, and that's my thought process this game week. I've also got an eye on next game week as well in terms of Mamouche. Now, I do have a chip left. I'm not sure if you guys are aware for the past few game weeks, I've been mentioning the fact that I have one left. That game week chip is a bench boost, and I will definitely be playing it the next game week, the last game week of the season. I will go over the fixtures for next game week as well, because we hit that on the Sunday, so I will talk about that on Saturday next week, my last FPL talk part 51. Today's is 50, and I am excited. I really am. I've gone 50, done 50 of these little beauties, half a century. So there you go. But I'm excited about this game week. I'm intrigued about this game week. I'm intrigued more actually on next game week as well, to see which teams are on the beach, who's playing, who's not playing, which players are not playing. And that's perhaps half the reason why this bench boost might come in handy, because I do have one free transfer. The chances are that free transfer is going to be Lacroix out, even though he's done well. I know Crystal Palace are decent against most teams, but they do have Liverpool away on the final game of the season. Not the greatest fixture. My eyes are on Bournemouth versus Leicester potentially, or someone against Southampton. I think Arsenal have got Southampton, so maybe an Arsenal player for that game, or improving one of the players that I've got to bring in an Arsenal player. Factor in that I do have a bench boost, so whoever I bring in needs to include the whole of the team, because I've got everyone playing next game week, including my 4 subs, and the goalkeeper will be in. So yes, bench boost will be next game week. That is the team for this game week. I've already got 6 points in the bag from Rodgers, so that's really good news. He's got me some half decent points. I was thinking, Rodgers, Spurs, they didn't actually play as a weakened team as I thought. It was a weakened team, but it wasn't like the kids as everyone was claiming them to be. Same goes to Manchester United versus Chelsea. They didn't play the kids neither. Both teams played really strong sides. So minor surprise, potentially. So yes, good performance from Rogers. 6 points already in the bank. And then we've got whatever's coming up next. I do have, I think it's 0. Let's have a quick look. I do have 0.4 to play with. So 0.4 million on top of what I've already got to bring in. So I've already played my wildcard free and assistant manager. My bench boost is in play, and I've already begun the process of picking that. So I'll be picking a team. We'll be going over that next game week. But as it stands right the second, I have 6 points. The average has been 7, so clearly someone's got an extra player in there. So yeah, pretty happy with that. There we go. 6 points. That's the team. What do you guys think? What are your expected points this game week? Who do you think out of the big players is going to get the least amount of minutes? That's what I was thinking. Who's up in the air? Is it going to be the Crystal Palace players? Is it going to be the Crystal Palace? Is it going to be the Man City players? Could it be the United players? No, because they played a full strength team. Spurs, possibly, but they had a couple of players in and out of the team. They had an okay team, didn't they? Really. How many minutes is Cunha going to get? Is he going to play the full 60 or more? I would have thought so because they need players. Big. What's the score going to be between Arsenal and Newcastle? How many points are going to be scored in that game? Is it going to be a goal fest? That's another good question as well. So yeah, that's a big question really. How many minutes are the players going to play? Because there's big matches this week and next week. Don't forget, we've got FA Cup final, we've got the Europa League final. So there's lots of stuff going on and affected by that particular thing. So especially the FA Cup final today. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. Let's quickly go over to the price changes. Today, Rogers went up to 5.8. Watkins went up to 9.1. Sade went up to 5.3. Reece went up to 6.9. Better went up to 4.9. Pickford, 5.2. Vardy, 5.4. Aina is now 5.3. And Gibbs White is 6.5. The fallers, Trossard went down to 6.7. Kirkes to 5.2. Kluivert to 5.9. Mateta down to 7.5. Savinia's down to 6. Mamouche, shocking, down to 7.4. And Trippier's dropped to 5.6. The price predictor is not falling over itself today, is it really? It's got QEO going up potentially in the next 2 days. Burn maybe going up. Enzo and Delap, possibly. Mitchell, maybe Palmer, Martinelli. I don't think so because he's injured. Milenkovic, maybe. Lacroix, I don't know, he's 50%, isn't he really? Going down-wise, Gabriel from Arsenal, but he's injured. Doggy, maybe. Gordon, King down. Dalot's injured. Okoli, maybe. Anderson's been going on for weeks. Van de Ven, 4.5. Maybe going down Sugawara. Maybe Bola Ketchup. Smosnik, Matthews, Veltman, Zabani, and Onana. So we will see what happens with those players. Let me know if you've got any chips left this game. That's a big question, isn't it, really? Have you got any chips left? Have you left your chips till the very last game week? I have, personally, but that's because my bench boost. Didn't really know when to play it. No particularly perfect time to play it, so I'm going to get the maximum amount of points I possibly can get from the last game week. That's sort of my thought process, really. Really, my bench would have been probably Areola, possibly Mamouche again, and then possibly Lacroix would have been on the bench as someone else. So that would have been my bench. Whether I get Lacroix out the team, more than likely, which means I'll get the points from that player as well. So we're looking at a full set and a full cycle of players, really, for the final game week. Fingers crossed, half the team out on the beach and actually feature and play 60 minutes. Fingers crossed, they actually perform as well. Some of these teams still have something to perform for. So, it's a reason really for that one. A lot of them is Europe, essentially. So that's a real important situation in that sense to make sure that Arsenal basically secure top 2. That Villa keep pushing Chelsea to the last day, which is what they've done so far. Newcastle keep pushing as well. Liverpool's a bit of a question mark. Are they going to perform for the last game of the season at home? That big farewell for Trent Alexander-Arnold who's leaving. One thing I did look at is maybe bringing in someone like Bradley for the last game of the season. So it's Bradley, a Bournemouth player, maybe for Lacroix, something like that. Is it a bit of a danger doubling up on Liverpool because I'd have Konate as well? But is it worth going Bradley and Konate? Is that a big risk? Possibly. So yeah, we'll see about that. So I think Bremen might have something to fight for if Man City win the FA Cup, because it'll be that final European spot that extends out to 8th position, where Bournemouth, Brentford, a few other teams are fighting for that particular place, aren't they, really? So there could be something given for Bremen at the end of the season, the last game of the season. Cunha, he's fighting, though he technically hasn't left, he's fighting for that opportunity, that transfer, isn't he, really? So we'll see what happens there. Isak, obviously, in Arsenal, those two guys are fighting as well. Rogers. So yeah, there's a lot to play for, Bowen. won't really get transferred, but again, it's the last game of the season. You'd like to think he puts on a bit of a show. So we will see. We'll very much see. So I'm very intrigued about this game week. My last game week points at 40 yards, which is not the greatest. This game week, fingers crossed to get slightly better, but there's a lot of teams that are going to be fighting each other. There's finals coming up as well, isn't there, really, the FA Cup and the Europa League, though the Europa League is less important now because Manchester United and Tottenham have both played their game, didn't they, yesterday, with victories for Villa and Chelsea. So technically speaking, neither of the teams in the Europa League final have had a particularly good fixture prior to the final, so you can't really call that as much, though my money, if I'm to bet right this second, is on Manchester United to win, purely and simply because of the players they've got, the history of the club, the way in which they perform, and Tottenham have got all these injuries right this second, haven't they, really? So we will see. In terms of today, the FA Cup final, my money is on Manchester City, unfortunately. I just think they'll turn it on, which, oddly enough, not great for Crystal Palace, but fantastic news for the team in 8th, because if that is the case, like I said, I mean, they go Brentford and Bournemouth. We'll have something to play for in the last game of the season. The news coming out of the reports right this second is Huijsen's, the defender, Dean Huijsen's joining Real Madrid, isn't he, for 50 million. They've triggered his release clause, already signed a 5-year deal, apparently. So maybe that might make him an interesting one for the last game of the season, especially if they have something to play for. They have Leicester at home, so maybe a fixture worth targeting, but Leicester is scoring, so it's not like it's a clean sheet gimme. So definitely something to look at. I'm looking at that as being a potential fixture and a player from that particular fixture. So I will speak more about this next Saturday. Join me for my last FPL game week 38. I'll probably do a 50. To be honest with you, I'll probably do a 52 to summarise how that game week went at the last game of the season. So I'll say my last one. Let's say my last one for the season, the final games of the season. That's probably better. Don't forget the final games are on the Sunday, not on the Saturday. So my show will be the day before, 8:45 on Saturday. We'll do a recap of this game week and looking to the final game week 38. I will have probably played my final transfer as well, or made my final transfer by that point. But yes, I'll also play my chip, which is bench boost. As I said before, let me know if you guys have got any chips left that you need to play or that you've got to play. As always, though, don't forget I'm on the wonderful socials. I'm on X, AJ1985p. I'm on YouTube, of course. I'm AJ Hardy85. Check out my Facebook, which is AJP85 channel. Of course, you got to do that. And obviously, I'm on the wonderful Twitch, which is also where I stream A_J_P_8_5. Like, subscribe, tell your friends and family that I'm doing wonderful FPL content. Of course I am, you know I am. And any strangers that you see in the street, let them know I do FPL as well. Talk to people. That's right. Put your phone down, have a chat to someone. There you go. But that's my game week team. Looking okay so far. Fairly solid 6 points in the bank. Pretty happy with that, considering Rodgers was a bit up and down yesterday, wasn't he, against Spurs, despite the fact that they scored. I thought, oh, here we go. First goal he wasn't involved in. He looked a little bit dangerous, but without getting real points, etc. And then he came alive. He got his assist and he had that shot which was deflected at the end. I was about to cheer. I was thinking, goal and assist, that'll do nicely for Rodgers. But we'll take the 6 points, won't we? Points are points at the end of the day. That's the key part, really. In terms of positioning, overall, we'll go over that finally. I'm doing so... No, I'm not really. 1,718,288. That's where I sit right this second. Better than it was. I was on 2 million something at one point, so I've clearly clawed back a good amount of points to get into the 1,700,000, which is fine. Not great, but this season's been a bit challenging, in my opinion, as well. Throwing the Assman chip in there as well has made it fun, because I could have played my triple captain and got more points in hindsight, but there you go. It is what it is. So yeah, that's it. And the big question really is who went captaincy this game? And let's have a quick look at Reddit. I do like to use Reddit and other sources as well for the captaincy. I think personally, captaincy choice this game week probably would have been a tricky one. There's too many players up in the air. There was finals as well being played. Let's get down. I think the captaincy was in and around this area. Usually it's a top pick. Let's go top pick, shall we? Let's get to the most popular. Get that set up for us all and have a look at what's happening really. But usually, there we go, the captaincy poll. That one instead. That would have given me what I needed. Let's see what the poll went with in the end. So it didn't affect me. I'd already done it, to be honest with you. So captaincy 37. Who did I go with? Well, personally, I went with Salah. myself. Let's see what the final results were in the end. View the results. The results were Watkins. Wow. Just from the poll. So yeah, 670, 34% of you went Watkins this game. I wonder if you went Watkins, let me know. And Mbeumo was the second, Salah was the third, Palmer, Vardy, De Bruyne, Haaland, another forward and midfielder, Isak, Bowen, Eze, Wood, Saka, Shadow. Okay, right. So basically, to conclude, it is Watkins and Mbeumo, Salah, Palmer, and Vardy, with De Bruyne sort of in and around that area in Haaland. So Watkins was the outstanding choice for this game week. Now, if you'd have captained Watkins, he did get an assist yesterday, so he would have got some decent-ish points from that, really. No more so than, well, actually, he would have got more potentially from Rodgers, who got 6 in the end. What did Watkins get? Watkins got you, was it 5? Yeah, 5. So you would have got 10 points today. So far, if you'd have captained Watkins, if you'd have captained Rodgers, you would have got 12, so you would have got 2 extra because of his clean sheet as well. I didn't do that. I went Mo Salah against Brighton. I think Brighton are a little leaky. When did they have the match? That's a good question. On Monday as well, so several days to get back after being. Liverpool were partying, weren't they? So celebrating. So hopefully they get back in one piece. Mo Salah has been doing interviews, so I'm hoping he's fired up, ready to go. So my captains went with him. Isak was my vice captain this game week as well. So yeah, Watkins was the captaincy choice this game week. Let me know if you captain Watkins. Let me know if you've got a new team. I have Rodgers as Villa coverage on that side. I'm looking maybe at a defender from Villa. They've been really solid. Konza is a go-to guy at the moment, isn't he? Really doing really well at the moment with points coming out of left, right, and centre with goals and clean sheets, bonus points as well. So maybe Konza for LaCroix, possibly a Liverpool defender, and Bradley we'll see. At the moment, I'm looking at Dean Huijsen from Bournemouth, maybe, because even if he doesn't get a clean sheet, he seems to be a bit of a threat from set pieces as well as scoring. So maybe an option there as well. Let me know what points you got last game week. Let me know what points you expect to get this game week and how many runs so far. Do you have any chips left? These are the big questions to answer. Pop them on YouTube. Leave me an X message as well or a comment. But otherwise, let your friends and family know that I'm doing fantasy FPL talk. I am indeed. I will kick this off for a second so we can chat again. Hello. But otherwise, yes, join me next Saturday at 8:45 where we review game week 37. We'll have a look at game week 38, the last game week of the football season, the Premier League season, the last game week of FPL. We'll talk chips because I do have my bench boost one, which I will be playing. We will talk transfers because I do have a transfer that I plan to make as well. And let me know how you guys are getting on with your fantasy team. Let me know how many points you've got. Let me know your overall points. One maybe for next FPL Talk 51, but talk about your points. Let me know how many you've got overall. Let me know where your standings are across the whole. I like to look at the overall standings. I'm on 1,700,000, give or take. So let me know whereabouts you sit right this second. But I am doing FPL Talk. If you've got any questions or anything you want to ask, I'm happy to answer them and happy to give you my advice. But it is just advice. Do not take it as gospel. All right. But I'll see you superb people next week at 8:45. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're not watching live, thank you for checking it out on YouTube, which is where this video goes afterwards. And I'll see you sensational people next Saturday at 8:45 for game week. Well, it's game week 37, isn't it? 38, 37, the end of 37, which we'll talk about, and the start of 38. And then we'll talk about game week 37, 38 at that particular point. But it'll be part 51. I'll see you at 8:45. I forgot the other second. 8:45 next Saturday. Take it easy, people.